What's going on, guys? I'm back with another one. And I just watched a show called The House of the Dragons, Season 1, starring Millie Alcott, Emily Carey, and my boy, Matt Smith. First of all, yes, there's a reason that those names are all slashed. We'll get to that in a minute. But first of all, you can't go forward without going backwards, or in this case, going forward. Because I want to do highlights on Game of Thrones, all right? Of course, it goes without saying, if you haven't seen Game of Thrones yet, spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. It really, that's going to be the minority in here, because if you're already here, you've seen Game of Thrones, for the most part. For those who haven't, spoiler alert. Highlight number 1. The unexpected assassination or death of a very important character in the show. All right. Well, of course, we're not going to say who it is. You true Game of Thrones fans know. But just the thought of this happening in the show was a game changer. All right. I haven't seen any other show do this ever before this happened. Highlight number 2. Joffrey, the one we love to hate. I know it's more of a character analysis type thing, but honestly, every time Joffrey showed up, it was an interesting scene at the most, all right? We love to hate this character. Let's be honest, all right? He is the biggest Greytrit within this show. Guaranteed. Number 3, the torture of Theon Greyjoy. Okay, I'm going to admit this right now. Yes, Theon was not a good person, but the stuff that he went through, he didn't deserve. It was overkill. It was overkill. All right, just take him out like a dog. No, they didn't do that. They definitely did not do that. If you don't know, you know when you watch the show. He went through some crap. Okay. Highlight number 4. The revenge of Tyrion. Tyrion is my favorite character. If you don't know, you know now. All right. So in this particular episode that I'm talking about, he's had enough. He had enough. His dad was humping this girl behind his back. The girl he thought he loved. He just couldn't take it. And he did some things. And one of those things was probably the best way you can get somebody back ever. He did that. Number 5. I'm sorry. Arya's list. We all know the little sweet Arya, who grew up to be one of the best assassins on the show, had her little list. And that you were reminded every season who she still had to kill, who still wronged her family. So she would add and take away sometimes. Of course, once she killed them. But in some aspects, she felt sorry for some people and, let them live. Number 6, Jaime Lannister is humbled. Okay, Jaime Lannister was a something head for the most part when he started out. All right, he was one of the biggest assholes in the show. All right, quick-tongued, ready to talk back, ready to kill anybody who tested him. Something he lost along the way. I'm not gonna say what it was, but it really humbled Jaime. And this was a great little character transition to watch, a personality transition, personality change in the character, and it worked on both sides. Actually, I liked Jaime when he was cocky, and I liked him when he was humbled and calmed down. All works. Number 7, Jon Snow betrayed. One of the most leading characters in the show, I'd say. You know, try to do something nice. Try to make something work out with their common enemy in the Watch. And for that, he got the worst of it. Constantly, repeatedly, over and over again. I'm honestly being honest. But then we all love it when he finally gets that payback in one of the most craziest ways ever. All right? And now we have the House of the Dragons. And my question is, will we get at least half of the moments we got from the Game of Thrones list? We're about to find out. Let's go. House of the Dragons, for those who don't know, for those who are not aware, we're not even going to go there. We're not even going to go there. You've seen this advertised so many times that you can't help. If you don't know about House of the Dragons by now, you are somewhere in a castle, duking it out with your own family. All right? Blood for blood, eye for eye, with your own relatives. Okay? So you might not have time to watch this show or see any of the 1,000 advertisements done for it. Don't play me. Don't play me, though. Do not play me. House of the Dragons. It's pretty much 200 years back before the original events of Game of Thrones. And it's based on what was going on at that time in the Targaryen family, right? With Viserys and his children, and how his own kids started a war between each other. All right. And that's pretty much the premise of season 1. Positives. Almost every ending of each episode was completely and totally epic. All right. Except for episode 1, where it kind of dragged and kind of was trying to introduce you to everybody and what was going on, of course. But then by season 2, it started to pick up. It started to gallop. It started from a trot to a gallop. And I appreciated that because it left me expecting something crazy every episode. You're gonna get something, and it was so rapid and fast paced that you were never dissatisfied with the outcome of each episode. Another positive. This still holds some of the grotesque, relentless violence that Game of Thrones originally gave you. All right. And because it was so rapidly done and fast paced, faster than Game of Thrones, might I add, it was better. It was a lot better in that aspect. It gave you that. Heads getting cut off, all kinds of things happening. People getting gouged, eyes out, all the kids fighting like grown people, like adults. People losing things that they shouldn't lose. Okay, the Game of Thrones fashion of everything. Pregnancies. They had some kind of thing with pregnancies. There's a lot of women that were pregnant and in labor in this show. Not even gonna lie. And every time they showed it, it got worse and worse and worse. As far as the gruesome visual they gave you. The sounds you had to hear, or the baby coming out, and all this is like, oh my God, we're not doing this. But they did it. And I love the fact that they didn't hold back on that. So thank you for that. All right. I appreciated that. Another positive. The standout characters. Of course, first we got Daemon Targaryen. That was the first one that I was riding all the way for. I was supporting him all the way. He was mischievous. He was causing problems everywhere. He was the only interesting character within the beginning of the show. All right. He did everything and anything to just give his brother a headache because he wanted that crown. He wanted to be king. His brother was not the rightful one in his eyes. And I kind of agree with that. Then we have LARYS Strong, my second favorite character in this show. LARYS Strong is a callback to your characters like Littlefinger and Viserys, right? He's a master of whisperers and spies and all this, and he's very good at it. He's very good at it. He does some things in this show that, yeah, you have to have no soul to do, all right? Even given the circumstances that he's under. This man is considered a cripple. Sorry to put it, that's how they said it in the show. And you think somebody with, you know, his limitations would be more considerate of other people? Not really. Not really. Oh, and he has a fetish too. He has a fetish. Ain't that something great? So watch out for that. Another character, my last character I want to praise in this one, Aemon Targaryen. Aemon Targaryen is one of the kids of Alicent Hightower. Right now, we do have Aegon the oldest, who is just ridiculous. He needs to learn how to wear a condom. Let's put it like that. But then we have Aemon, who was really meant to rule. All right. He got his eye plucked out when he was younger, and it made him stronger, if anything else. And I really like how he took into that. Even after seconds of getting his eye gouged out, this man was like, "No, Mom, don't avenge me. This is enough for me. I lost an eye and I gained a dragon." That was so powerful right there. And I like the things he did later on. So you get the quality characters from the first season already. My last positive. The sadness of Viserys. Now, Viserys was the first king they show, the father of Rhaenyra, the brother of Daemon, and he's not like other Targaryens. He actually had a conscience for the most part. All right, but it was sad to see just the deterioration of this man, because he had some sort of leprosy going on with him. The skin was peeling, and you know, things started to fall off slowly. And he fought for years and years, because some would expect him to just wither away a little sooner. But he held on for such a long time. And then there's a certain episode where that just showed just how worn he was, and how close time was getting. You know, if you get my drift. And that episode was so sad that if you caught off guard, a tear's gonna come down. My eyes got a little watery, but a little shaky, but it didn't happen. I had to catch myself. But that episode was so powerful and just so sad at the same time that it got me. It got me. I ain't gonna lie. It kind of got me. I was like, oh man, I didn't think I was gonna feel like this for this character, but I did. Negatives. As we all know, there's a time skip within this show because they have to speed it up, because they have a lot to discuss. And if they didn't time skip, I understand. This show would be like 15 to 20 seasons. So they couldn't do that, of course. And there'd be periods where there's nothing to do, like anime fillers. So because of the time skip, you have to age the characters, right? This was a problem on both sides. Some characters were aged, all right, but when they were aged, a lot of them did not look like their former selves at all. They looked like somebody, I don't know what, completely different people. They were completely different people. We have Aemon as a little boy. He's a little chubby or whatever in this little boy, and then when he gets older, he's taller than his older brother, and he looks nothing like he should look if he was that age. All right, and his older brother too. His older brother was tall and skinny, and come on, man, what the hell happened with that? And there's some other characters too. Daemon doesn't even age. Daemon never ages. Is he a vampire? Or Kristen Cole. Kristen Cole doesn't age either. What the hell is that? What sense does that make? Are they vampires? Are Kristen Cole and Daemon Targaryen vampires? Just please somebody answer me that right now. Because it makes absolutely no sense. At all. By season 2, they really have to get that right. All right? Correct those mistakes. Please. Because that makes no sense. Negative number 2. The sexual content within the show was really downplayed. Not too much, but when you think about Game of Thrones, they really put it out there. They really put the sex out there. And I'm not saying that you need sex in a show for it to be good, but with a show like this, you need to at least be on a Game of Thrones level with your sexual content. All right, I'm just being honest. There are certain parts of this show that really needed it, but they didn't put it in there. All right, now it could have been a little worse, but for the most part, we still have the other seasons to go. Maybe we'll get a lot more. All right, we shall see. My last negative. Rhaenyra is as horrible as Alicent. And that's something that's a little overshadowed in the show. Not really in the show, because you can see it plain as ever in the show. But a lot of people who love this show and watch it, they really think that Rhaenyra is the antagonist. Protagonist. When in reality, Rhaenyra and Alicent are both just horrible people. They're both antagonists. They're both antagonists. On one side, you have someone who is trying to make the bastard kids look as if they are Valyrians. Valyrians are black-ish. These are not. She's just fighting for this, and there's no reason to even do this. I just don't agree with a lot of things she does. I think there's so much to go into with her. And Alicent is just a horrible person from the jump. She's getting bamboozled by her father. Her father is conniving and manipulative towards her brain, and she is falling for every step. And then she's turning into her father. They're both turning into their fathers. All right? But I still have to give this a hell yes. All right? This is a good show. Because there are so many messed up characters, that's what makes it great. You don't know who to root for. All right? Press that like button, share, and you better subscribe.